You know ball if you know about hit the curve. Or you will switch it up and play hit the can. Come on now. Come on now, G. We used to play hit the can and hit the curve, dog. Super fun. What is good with you guys, man? It is your boy One, and we are back in this thing with another reaction, man. Yeah, we got something kind of interesting today. So I was surfing the web trying to see what I could react to, and I came across this video. The title of the video is The Psychology of a 90s Baby. This basically applies to anybody who was born between 1990 and 1999. So yeah, let's see what he got to say. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Let's see what he got.
You know what's strange about people born in the 1990s? They remember a world that doesn't exist anymore. They played outside until the streetlights came on, but also remember their first AIM screen name. They used encyclopedias for school projects, but also downloaded music on Napster. They're the last generation who had a childhood without smartphones, but came of age with social media. And that split? That created a psychology researchers are calling 90s kids syndrome. If you were born between 1990 and 1999, you occupy a space in history that will never be repeated. You're not quite a millennial. You're definitely not Gen Z. You're the bridge between two incompatible worlds, Cartoon Network and YouTube, Blockbuster and Netflix.
Oh my God, bro. He's already cooking. He's already cooking, bro. So listen, I love videos like this. They kind of just highlight my specific generation because I actually got to experience dial-up internet, bro. A lot of these new kids wouldn't even know what the hell I'm talking about when I say dial-up internet. Look, I'm 28 years old, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know this happened to y'all at least one time. You own the internet, somebody called the house phone because a lot of the times, right, ain't no a lot of the times, yeah, this was the case. Your internet was connected to the phone line. So it's like every time somebody called the house phone, it would interrupt your internet service, bro. And now that I'm just thinking about that is crazy that we had to go through that, bro. Man. And I remember, look, I know I'm talking a lot already. I already paused it. Look, I remember using phone books, man, doing prank calls. It just, bro, we really got to experience pre-internet and internet.
Playing outside
Crazy.
And playing online. And here's what nobody tells you. That split childhood created adults who are simultaneously nostalgic for simplicity and fluent in complexity. And it's affecting your mental health in ways you probably don't even recognize.
Yes, bro.
Picture this. It's 1998. You're 8 years old. Saturday morning means waking up early for cartoons. Scooby-Doo, Rugrats, DuckTales. You pour yourself a bowl of sugary cereal and sit cross-legged on the floor in front of the TV. No tablets, no streaming services, no on-demand anything. If you missed it, you missed it. And somehow, that made it matter more. After cartoons, you head outside. Not because your parents told you to, because that's what kids did. You played hide and seek until dusk. You climbed trees. You rode bikes through the neighborhood without helmets or supervision. Scraped knees and muddy clothes weren't emergencies. Bro. They were badges of honor.
Bro, oh my God, he's cooking. Now, I wasn't 8 years old in whatever time he said. I was born in 1997, right? Yes, I'm still a 90s baby. The early 2000s was still the 90s. So we just got to keep it a buck. It was leftover 90s stuff everywhere. But what he's saying definitely still applies to me because, bro, the whole you finish watching cartoons and you go right outside, it's like your parents couldn't make you stay in the house. Nowadays, they probably got to make their kids go outside. But back then, bro, you being in the house all day, that was boring. It was nothing to do in the house. Like, you felt like you was missing out not going outside. And there was no texting or calling your friend because a lot of us just simply did not have phones at the time. Or if you did, you had one of them little prepaid phones. But you got on your bike and just went to your friend's house and knocked on the door, bro. Like, you just chancing it. He could be there. He could not be there. That's just how it was. If he wasn't there, but he wasn't gone somewhere like with his mom or something, then you would just go through the neighborhood and just go to the spots, y'all usual hangout spots, to try to see if your friend was at one of those spots, bro. What a time, man.
You'd actually live that day. According to research on 90s childhood, kids spent an average of 3 to 4 hours outside daily. Today, less than 30 minutes. A
Crazy.
2023 WHO study found that over 80% of today's adolescents don't meet recommended physical activity levels. But you were the last generation that experienced unstructured outdoor play as the default, not the exception. You didn't need fancy toys. A stick became a sword. An empty lot
Yes,
became a
bro.
battlefield. Your backyard transformed into whatever your imagination needed.
He's freaking cooking, dog. I remember in the sixth grade, me and my friend Phelan, we used to just be outside playing Dragon Ball Z. A lot of y'all will hear that and be like, how do you play Dragon Ball Z outside? Bro, he was Goku, I was Vegeta, and we was out there powering up and fighting, my guy. That's just what we did. We had to use our imagination, right? Imagination. You actually had to do that, bro, or you just was not gonna have a good time back then. Now, yes, we had video games by this time, right? The PSP was out, PS2 was out. We had stuff around this time when I was in the sixth grade, but it's like you still had to use your imagination. Like, hit the curve, bro. How many of y'all from the hood, bro? You know ball if you know about hit the curve. Or you will switch it up and play hit the can. Come on now. Come on now, G. We used to play hit the can and hit the curve, dog. Super fun. And when he's talking about a lot of these kids don't meet the criteria as far as like athleticism because they just do not go outside. They don't play. They don't run. We used to play manhunt, bro. And if you got caught, you got your beat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how that go, bro. Man, we used to be outside flipping on hard grass and concrete, bro. If I had kids, I would not want them doing that. But that's just what we did.
It to be.
We was unhinged.
And because you couldn't Google what to do when bored, you developed something rare. Creativity born from emptiness.
Yes.
The ability to generate fun from nothing. But here's where it gets complicated. You didn't just grow up analog. You lived through the transition. You remember VHS tapes and rewinding them before returning to Blockbuster. But you also remember when DVDs felt like magic. You used dial-up internet where a single web page took 5 minutes to load.
Dial-up
But by
internet,
high
dog.
school, you had broadband. You typed school papers on actual typewriters in elementary school. By middle school...
Whoa, hold on now. I'm not that old, bro. I'm not that. We was not using typewriters, my guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We had computers. You might have to go back a little bit for that. We was not using
You
no
were
typewriters.
using Word documents. According to researchers, 90s babies experienced a unique blend of traditional education and the beginning of tech-based learning. You spent hours in libraries using card catalogs and encyclopedias. But you were also the first generation to use computers in school regularly.
Definitely encyclopedias.
You're bilingual in a way no generation before or after will ever be. Analog native, digital fluent. And social media? You remember life before it. You had actual privacy. When you did something embarrassing, only the people there knew about it. No phones filming, no viral videos, no permanent digital record of your worst moments. One 90s baby put it perfectly. We all talked crazy amounts of shit about each other and did shockingly inappropriate things, but we never had to worry about it ending up where everyone could see it. You got to figure out...
Unless you was there. That's the only way you would... Look, if some crazy stuff went down... Back then, even when people got phones, nobody was just automatically thinking, oh, let me pull out my phone. Like, you was living in the moment. If somebody got to fighting, if somebody was hidden, you didn't just automatically pull out your phone, bro. You just watched with your eyes, right? We wasn't doing none of that, man.
Who you were in private. That's a luxury that will never exist again. But then MySpace launched when you were a teenager. Facebook opened to everyone when you were in high school or college. Instagram appeared as you entered adulthood.
Mees.com.
You learned
Crazy.
to curate yourself, to perform your life for an audience, to seek validation through likes and comments. And that shift, it split your psychology in half. Here's what researchers noticed. 90s babies experience unusually intense nostalgia. They call it 90s kids syndrome. And it's not just sentimentality, it's neurological. According to studies on psychological essentialism, people tend to believe their personal experiences are more authentic than others. And 90s babies? They lived through a fundamental shift. They witnessed the death of one world and the birth of another. So when they look back, they're not just remembering their childhood. They're mourning an entire way of life that disappeared. The rosy retrospection bias explains why you idealize the past. Your brain filters out the mundane and distressing parts and preserves the emotional highs. It's not that the 90s were perfect. You just remember them that way. Because what you're actually missing isn't the decade, it's the feeling.
Simplicity.
Being fully present without constant comparison.
It's the simplicity of it all, bro. A lot of the time, I just miss the simplicity. How simple things were, right? Everything was just so simple. Like, not, now there's certain things that I feel like I'm happy technology advanced. I know people get nostalgic for iPods. Be for real, bro. A whole device just for listening to music on. We do not need that. You can do that on your phone, right? I'm happy that we have phones that we can surf the web on, put like get actual work done on, and then go listen to music. We don't need a whole freaking device, a MP3 player just for music. So it's just certain stuff that I'm happy is left in the past.
Living without performing, existing without documenting. One researcher described 90s kids perfectly. They are the living testimony endorsing the fall of antiquity and the rise of modernity. You're the only generation that can compare both worlds accurately. You know what was gained. You also know what was lost. Here's the part that's harder to talk about. A study from the University of California, analyzing over 27,500 adults, found something devastating. People born in the 90s have worse mental health than any previous generation. Depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders are significantly higher among 90s babies compared to those born in the 80s, and these disorders get progressively worse with age. The researchers concluded that technology and social media use are primary factors, but it's more than that. You were raised with one set of values. Emotions and sentiments controlled us, as one researcher put it. Then, forced to adapt to a world where devices dominate everything. You learn that friendships were built through shared experiences. Then you watch social media turn connection into performance. You developed self-worth through actual accomplishment.
It's crazy too, man. Cause look, I ain't gonna lie, social media stopped a lot of stuff. Like Facebook, bro. When Facebook started getting super popular, it's like we don't even have family reunions no more. Because what's the point of having a family reunion if you could just get online and see what your cousin that live in your cousin live in 3 states over, right? You can just get on Facebook, see what they're doing. Like you don't gotta actually have a family reunion no more. So some of that stuff, man, it social media ruined a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Then you entered a world where value is measured in followers and likes. That cognitive dissonance creates psychological strain. You're not depressed because you're weak. You're exhausted because you're living in two incompatible realities simultaneously. But here's what 90s babies have that other generations don't. Perspective. You know what life was like without constant connectivity, so you can put your phone down at dinner, take tech-free vacations, sleep without checking devices, because you remember what presence actually feels like. You value authenticity over performance because you developed identity before audiences existed. You understand patience because you waited for things, for songs to download, for photos to develop.
Oh man, he just brought back a memory, dog. We used to, man, look, we'd go get them blank CDs, dog. And just straight rip music off, dog. What a time, man. I'm talking about dudes used to have whole books of just CDs, dog. Full albums on these CDs, man. Like, what a time. And I'm just now realizing this dude got a plant on his why this man got a plant growing up top of his dome, bro? Just caught
For your
that.
favorite show to air at its scheduled
I
time.
just caught that, bro.
You learned delayed gratification wasn't just acceptable, it was normal. You have what researchers call a balanced childhood that straddled the line between analog
He's
and
not
digital
lying.
worlds.
Very
You climbed
balanced.
trees
The
and
best
coded
of both
websites.
worlds.
You played tag and played video games. You read books and browsed the early internet. That balance is rare, and it's valuable. Today, 90s babies are in their mid-20s to mid-30s. You're contributing to society in significant ways. You bring traditional values and technological fluency. You translate between generations at work. You bridge your boomer parents and your Gen Alpha kids. You're the mediators, the explainers, the ones who remember both before and after. Here's what nobody tells you about being a 90s baby. You'll spend your life caught between nostalgia and adaptation. You'll watch younger generations grow up completely digital and feel both envious and relieved they'll never know what they're missing. You'll hear older generations romanticize the good old days and think, I actually remember those days. They weren't that simple. You're not better than other generations. You're different. shaped by timing, by being born at the exact moment when the old world was ending and the new one was beginning. You carry both. You belong fully to neither. And maybe that's not weakness. Maybe that's wisdom. You see what younger generations lost. You understand what older generations can't grasp. You hold both truths without needing to pick a side. The world changed while you were growing up, and instead of breaking you, it made you adaptable, resilient, aware. You're not confused about who you are. You're just the only generation that remembers both worlds clearly enough to compare them honestly. If this felt
That's
personal,
facts.
if you've
That's
been
facts, bro.
carrying this nostalgia and didn't know why, you're not alone. This channel explores the psychology of people caught between worlds. Subscribe to understand the patterns shaping who you are. And if you're a 90s baby, drop your birth year in the comments.
What a great video, man. Awesome video. Make sure y'all give this video a like. Let me practice what I preach. Let me do the same thing. All right, so listen, man. Like I said, if you were born between the ages of the years between 1990 and 1999, you got the best of both worlds. You got to see what life looked like on a simple level, and then you got to see technology come in. Like you said, man, you got like periods of time like our grandparents. My granddad now he knows how to use a computer, but before he just was completely clueless on how to use a computer. Right? We're gonna be the generation that when we get old, we're gonna know how to do everything technology wise, because that was just part of our era. And I just feel like a lot of us are a lot more level headed, because like he said, we got to see what life was like before the internet. And a lot of these new kids, man, they just growing up with iPads in their hand. The world is just different. It was actually crazy getting to see Blockbuster get replaced by Redbox, and then seeing Redbox get put out of business by freaking Netflix. Like that was just crazy. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like leaving your house and going to the store to rent movies would still work now, because obviously it wouldn't. I'm happy Netflix came and made things more simple, more accessible. But some stuff was just great at its time. That's just one of them things, man. It was nothing like hopping in the car on a Friday night and heading to Blockbuster, getting some movies with your family, and then possibly renting a game, because I went straight to the game section every freaking time. Having a quarter, man, putting it in the little gumball machine and watching it just roll down. Like, they don't even have stuff like that no more. We just got to experience a lot of stuff, man. So I appreciate the era that I grew up in. I wouldn't have wanted to grow up in no other era, man. I just got to keep it a buck. But tell me what y'all think about the video, man. Are you a 90s baby or are you a 2000s baby? If you are, tell me what you thought about this video. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. It's been your boy One. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Peace.